from teachers. That's the way that I sent a form to you all to understand what, so that I can tailor make my to needs of the teachers. That's what I look for. And then I learn in turn from them, being a tech trainer. And thanks to CIET also for this great opportunity. And I would like to request all of you, if you have any doubt in between, you can always unmute and talk. Otherwise, please be on mute. And if you have any difficulty to understand my language, please do tell me. Or if you are comfortable with Hindi, I can speak Hindi. So I may not understand Nepalis, but it is very much close to Sanskrit and Hindi. So I can understand the context, but I cannot reply in the language. So please feel free. Whichever language you are comfortable, Hindi or English, please do let me know. So today's session, as Sir said, is all about interactivity in e-learning, right? So before I really start anything, I start always with a question. It's always a good idea, as I said, to learn from all of them with your answers. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes,
Sir,
yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay, so I just want all of you to visit slido.com. Okay, either in your mobile phone or in your laptop in another browser. Anything is okay. Go to slido.com and enter this 947642. Okay.
Okay.
And let me go there, sir, once. Let me share that with you all once again. Please go there. Just wait. There is a question that is posted to you all there. Let me share my screen. Yeah. What is interactivity? Your definition, I would like to understand. You can define in, like, I don't need any dictionary definition as such. What comes to your mind? आपके माइंड में क्या आएगा? इंटरैक्टिविटी, ये वर्ड सुनते ही आपको क्या लगता है कि इंटरैक्टिविटी इज व्हाट? जो आप सोचेंगे इंटरैक्टिविटी के बारे में. In few words, communicating, excellent, yes. Few words you can describe, or whatever that thought that comes to you in your mind immediately, the moment you say interactivity. Working together, interesting to learn, interaction among, two-way communicate, wonderful, yes. Talking to each other. Active participation. Digital interaction. Okay. Yeah, here because we are talking about digital interaction only. Interest to learn, exchanging ideas. Wow, that's good. So the common is in all this, antkriya, yani ki
interaction. Interaction.
Antkriya, exchanging ideas, the process of active but two-way communication. But did you observe, everything runs around that communication, isn't it? Exchanging views, yes. Among persons, yes. Okay, talk back, sharing knowledge, okay. Nice, very nice. Yeah, see, the moment we say interaction, itne sare words that comes to our mind, so many words, right? So, but everything revolves around that communication, the way we do, right? But when we talk about this online, or you call virtual learning, what plays a major role is this communication, right? How we are communicating, not just between the teacher and the learner, but it is also between the content that we disseminate, and also between the learner and the content, between the teacher content and the learner, right? And how they are interacting with each other, that also plays a major role, how effective it is, right? So when we talk about interaction in digital era, right, especially past 2.5 years, we are all going through this same, sailing the same boat. We are experiencing hardships to run our daily classes, daily courses, to conduct our regular sessions, to conduct our teaching learning environment like we do in a regular physical classroom, traditional classroom. We are missing that. Even now, are we not missing that? How good it is to see a person in front of you in a physical presence and then do the workshop. How good it is. I am definitely missing it. But then we have to get along with the kind of environment that we have now. So we have to get accustomed to it, and we have to innovate various ways to conduct our sessions more effectively, right? And how good we can communicate with our participants, our trainees, or our learners, or our students, we call it. What is that good? How can we define that good? Right? When it comes to interaction, how interesting it is for the learner to interact with the teacher, or with the content, or with both, or most importantly, among themselves. Peer-to-peer interaction, right? So all this plays a major role. The moment we say interaction, these are the words that comes to our mind, and the center point is that communication. How effectively we will be able to do that, that matters. Let me pose one more question to you. Okay, why interactivity? Okay, fine. You said the interaction is communication, talking to each other, talk between two people, or I said even between the content and the teacher and the learner, or between the content and the learner. But then when we deliver a lecture, we deliver a session, right? But then we expect something out of it. That's why we go for various ways of interacting with our learners, isn't it? Not only that, there are many more, much more to that. Yes, I can see the answers. Express ideas, responding to it. Yes, getting information and responding to it. Yeah, very true. Very true. We get something, we share something, we gain something. Unless you share, you cannot gain anything. I believe in that, right? Unless we learn and then unlearn, and then we have to relearn. Yeah, better understanding, good communication, flow of information. Absolutely. There are various other things also. Also, you might ask me that when it comes to interaction in online learning, is it not the interaction the moment we say, for example, right now we are interacting, isn't it? But how we are interacting? Is it a one-way or a two-way communication? Definitely it is a two-way communication. It's a real time, it's a synchronous. But apart from that, I am trying to engage all of you, more active participation. That's how I see it. The moment we say interaction in online learning environment, as a teacher, what we expect is the more active participation of the learner, of the participant, active participation of the student, right? And also how effectively we can solve their issues, the problems, or whatever they're stuck with, the learning, or somewhere in our teaching learning environment, somewhere we might be missing to address certain things. We might be able to address that. Yeah, active participation is the key thing. The moment we say interactivity, we want our learners to be more active, right? So let us see actually one definition which is very, very interesting about this, what we call the interactivity. I really love this definition way long back. Actually, there is one more definition of in 90s, 95 or 96, but then I just took it a little further one, 2001, Sims, Dobbs and Hand, that book. It is very well defined about the interaction, right? Interaction could be anything, such like even when you play a video, play, pause, or rewind, go forward. That is also an interaction, isn't it? But then when you present, especially in this pandemic era, learner is learning alone. Remember that. Sometimes teacher is not always live, it's synchronously present there to clear their doubts. So he will be or she will be interacting with the content alone most of the times. Then how well that environment should behave, how robust that interaction should be, that depends upon how well your teaching learning environment is all about. How well you can plan that interaction. That will ultimately determine the effectiveness and efficiency of the learning environment. I hope all of you agree with this, isn't it? Do you all agree?
Yes.
Very much, right? So when we talk about this interactivity, we have to make sure that how effectively, what is that effectiveness? How can we measure that? How can we see that? How can we make sure that it is effective? First, we have to understand what is interaction, and then are there any levels to it? Definitely, as I said, when you play a video, when you provide a video to your learner, okay, you think that is a good interaction so that he can see and learn. That is also an interaction, isn't it? He'll play, he'll pause, he'll go back and he'll see that. And again, whenever he thinks there is a doubt, he definitely goes there and pinpoint at that particular timeline and the seek bar, and then he'll see that and come back. That is the very simple interactivity level where some text is present, some image is present, and we will give some external link of the video where he or she will go there, he'll play, pause and see and come back, right? No, not more than that. There won't be any menus and all, like menus in the sense there will be a menu where he can click that menu and go to the chapter that he wants or she wants, isn't it? The student. That kind of interaction won't be there. That is the first level. That is a zero level, we call it. That is a no interaction at all, we call it zero level. Right? It's mostly like a passive one. It's not active. He's not interacting with the content like dynamically. And then comes the next level, first level, we call it. It is a limited, very limited interaction where there are some clickables. In technical words, we call it hotspots. Like hotspot. Hotspot is nothing but any hyperlink will be there, or the moment you click, the learner clicks on that, there will be some image or external link or a video will play. That's called a hotspot. Okay, so clickables in a regular layman's language, it is a clickable. Some advanced multimedia is presented. Simple drag and drops are presented. Remember, in no interaction level, that is a 0 level, we have certain questions definitely asked at the end of the chapter, but there won't be any interaction with the question that a student will participate there. But then when it comes to limited interaction, that is the level 1, where he will be able to do that. When it comes to moderate interaction, that's when your simple simulations will come. Like scenarios. For example, I will tell you, in a virtual learning environment, it's always a good idea to present the content in a way that in a storytelling way, you will be creating a scenario. If you remember Bloom's taxonomy, right? We have various levels there, where we try to, depending upon the level of that we are teaching and the level of understanding that we want, the objective of that course or that lesson or that unit or that for the entire course, outcome of that course, depending on that, we will try to we'll try to reach that level and pose our questions or the content, isn't it? Is it application style or a higher order thinking skill? That's where that application will come. So you need not to really go at a level of at the top level, but then even a simple, for example, you take a English grammar or a Sanskrit. I'm a very, though I'm a technical person, technical graduated, I'm a language lover. I love my regional language and all other regional languages too. So I work a lot with Telugu and English, Hindi, English. That's why the moment I say example, language will come to my mind. So when you talk about, even when you are teaching simple language terms, you can create a scenario like a story, like this is the place where this is, and you can explain in that language, and you can ask your learners to point those words which are related to that particular scene. This is a simple example. I'm talking about a scenario based lessons, or a branching can happen. Like, okay, now you learned about this. Do you want to learn this, or do you know about this? And you can ask. If they answer yes, and then you will make them take them to the next level, or you will ask them to go back and do that session 1 and come back here. These kind of interactions, very simple ones, not complicated or nested scenarios, will happen in moderate interaction. And then this is the moderate one, is the thing these days everywhere, everybody likes to happen, right? They always search for this kind of an interaction. Simple simulations, animated videos, scenarios, like you present, for example, a chemistry experiment or a zoology dissection, that you will show them that this is how it happens. And then you pose a question, these people will interact. Okay, you saw this, and then this is the answer. This is, and if you don't know, go back and come here. So this is a kind of a moderate interaction. When it comes to full interactivity, it's a very high level one, where real-time scenarios, real-time branching, and also a gamification plays a major role. I'm not saying that in moderate interaction, gamification is not possible. It is possible, definitely, but at a certain level only. When it comes to full interactivity, it is entirely a game-based one. Think about any AR/VR game. With that, you will be teaching that subject. Then you can say that is a full interaction with the content. And content will behave according to the learner's choices. Not just a simple, like what I explained in moderate interaction, but in a way, even how the user is behaving with the entire course. Depending on that, it will pop up, it will give the output to the learner. That is a full interactivity, right? We basically, we cater to either no interaction, limited, or if we are well versed with the things, then we can go up to moderate interaction. I'm not kidding. Today, by the end of this session, you all will be equipped with the knowledge on how to create moderate interaction in your online teaching learning environment, right? Okay, so we know what is interactivity. We already spoke about this, why interactivity, right? What is interactivity, why interactivity? And then we talked about how do we know what kind of interaction that we are going to develop. So before we proceed, let me concentrate on these 4 points. Definitely, it promotes active learning. We talked about it. Active participation of the learner. Participation in the sense here, not just participating in that session or as such. With the content, how the interaction is happening, we can gauge that. We can track the learner's interaction with the content depending upon the kind of tool we use, how the students' attempts are. Either in the, for example, you have given a certain exam, and then you provided them with multiple attempts. And then you will say that with the highest grade is your, will be marked in your grade book. By end of today, complete this quiz, answer as many number of times until you get 100%. It's okay. Then, but as a teacher, you will be able to track the attempts of that particular student. On the first attempt, how much time she took, what is the score she achieved. All this can be tracked. Similarly, depending upon the tool you use, you can even calculate the viewing time. If you are providing a video, then you can also say that, okay, this much time they spent on this video. Or in a learning management system, how much time they spent inside the course can be tracked. But then when it comes to like how much time for each page and how ability, but that is a full interactivity. We are talking only about moderate ones. It is possible even in moderate. And also the most important thing is when it comes to interaction in e-learning, we provide an opportunity to our participants, to our students to comment, right? We give an opportunity to comment on what is going on in that course, or to communicate with the teacher while communicating with the content. That is the beauty of interaction in e-learning. We provide an opportunity and we also give them certain feedback, not just commenting. When they attempt certain things, we also provide a feedback. A feedback could be an immediate one or an asynchronous one after some time. That particular time, as I said, after by the end of this day, you complete this quiz, right? So at the end of that day, you can provide the entire feedback, or immediately you can provide a feedback for each question and for each answer they do. That is also possible. So these are the 4 points that we have to keep in our mind the moment we say why interaction in our teaching learning environment. Okay. When it comes to how to create interactive content, that now we know what we discussed about what is interaction. We discussed about why interaction very clearly, I hope, and you all agreed that how effective or the interaction is, that way our teaching learning environment will be that effective, right? And also we learned about various, at least no, I shouldn't say learned, we have seen that various levels of interactivity in e-learning, right? And then comes to how do we create this interactive content? In e-learning terminology, whenever we create some content, or we don't call it as a creation, we call it as authoring. Like author, we write a book, right, as an author. So we call, the term is, we call it author. authoring tools. There are certain softwares which are called authoring tools. Examples I have given here: Articulate Storyline, Adobe Captivate, TechSmith Camtasia, or even a simplest and very popular one, iSpring, right? But these are all, when we talk about authoring interactive content, we also have to think about the environment that we are in, the infrastructure that we have, the kind of pocket support we get from our institution or as an individual that we have, the size, pocket size also. Affordability, that matters, isn't it? See, all these are commercial tools, very really pocket heavy. Unless you really invest a lot, you won't be able, not only on the tool, but also on the training. The skill is required to operate that particular tool. Right? So then when we talk about these authoring tools, we have to see, first is affordability. The second is ease of use for both teacher and the student. And how strong it is, pedagogically, how strong it is. As a tech trainer, I always tell teachers that don't think about the kind of technology it is behind or how big it is, how costly the tool is. You think about how effective is your output first and how affordable it is, whether it is suiting your style of teaching, learning, whether it is suiting to your pedagogy, right? You have to think all these levels. Easy in the sense, not just to circulate or the information or to gather some information, also to track the learner also. It is very, very important. The moment you give a test to your student, you always want to track them. Unless you have the tracking mechanism, it won't really work. So we have to talking about authoring tool, which is a free and open source one. That is called H5P. Anybody can tell me the difference between free and open source? What is free and what is open source? Some tools are free tools. Some tools are open source. Some tools are free and open source. H5P means, somebody asked, it is, I'll be telling you, I'll be talking about it. HTML5 package, nothing but. Somebody asked me a question. So anybody would like to answer that? Open source?
I guess rather open source. I think it's free completely, and then we can make modifications to it also according to our need.
Correct.
When you say free, sometimes all the features are not free, depending on the copyright. So that's what I've understood, ma'am.
Yeah, very good, sir. Yes, almost you are there. Yeah. The moment we say open source, the name itself talks about source code of any application is openly available to public. That means if you have a technical expertise, you can modify it, you can customize it. That is the correct word, rather than a modification, customization. The way your institution demands, the way your environment demands, you can modify it the way you want it. You can tailor make to suit to your institutional needs. Not just the colors, not just about the colors and all, also we can enhance its functionality also, if you have a technical expertise behind it, right? That is open source. As sir said, rightly pointed out, free means There are some tools which are free, but we don't know the source code behind it. You cannot really customize it. And also, some tools they provide free, but not all the features of that particular tool is available for free. Right? So yeah, somebody answered in the chat about H5P is a free and open source content collaboration framework based on JavaScript. That's fine. Fantastic definition from. Okay, that's good. Yeah, talking about open source, I want to give a small example. Though it is an open source, free and open source, any application, it needs a certain environment to run. Right? Take this example. For example, somebody these days, those days are not very far where you can 3D print your entire home. Right? So some 2 rooms or 3 rooms, they 3D printed and nicely packaged it in a container. They sent it to you. But then where will you keep that? Where will you put that home? The 3D printed home, you can, it is operable. You can simply assemble it and then you can use it as a home. But then you have to place it somewhere. Aapke chhat ke upar ho, ya you need some place on the earth to keep it, to use it as a home, right? Somebody gave you free nicely, and then you can customize the way you want it while assembling the home. Instead of 3 rooms, you can make it 2 rooms, or you want to make it a huge room, one room, right? But then you need some place to keep it, to put it on the earth, or to keep it on the floor, on the top floor of your building. You need a permission, or you should own it, that place. That's how any application which is a free and open source, it needs an environment to host it. Even if you take a learning management system Moodle, it is also open source, but you need an environment somewhere you can keep it. Similarly, H5P also needs some environment. What is that environment? What exactly is H5P? As I said, H5P is an authoring tool. It is based on JavaScript, and it is a full form of HTML5. What is this HTML5? We all know that the web pages that we see, earlier versions were based on a markup language called hypertext markup language, that is HTML, that runs in our browser. Right? HTML5 is the latest version of HTML where there is a lot of interaction. Dynamism is possible. Dynamic web pages are possible with this. When you think about any tool which is based on HTML5, these days it is said it is more robust because it is responsive, means accessible to 99% with all sorts of devices. That's why it's a very powerful authoring tool to create interactive content. It is free and it is open source. We discussed about free and open source, and it is responsive. More precisely to say this is like it is accessible. The content that is created using H5P package is very much accessible in all sorts of devices, 99%. And the community is pretty strong for any open source tool. The moment you have a doubt, you can post it there. If not in a very next minute, in the next few hours, couple of hours, you will get a reply. That strong these open source tools are. Like when you talk about a bug in the content type, or you're not able to work with that such kind of things, and then you can always report it and immediately they will respond. They will help you out. I'll tell you a small example here. I am using H5P since its inception. I'm almost, you can see in H5P forums also my name there. It is called with my language name Telugu, where recently I had a very peculiar bug kind of thing in my system. I use Mac, and I am testing a new content type is crossword. Okay, and I'm testing it, and surprisingly, the moment I do it, it is not happening. It is not appearing at all. The content type that I create, it is not taking the words crossword. I am doing clues and hints are I am giving, and when I say display, it is not displaying me my neither the clues nor the hints. And but when I use already made a crossword somewhere, I take it and I use it in my browser, it is working. Then I thought it is something wrong with the content type itself, and I posted in the H5P forums. And then they immediately, within few minutes, you can see that forum thread also, they responded and said that, no, we tested it, it is possible, it is happening. Can you please test it here and there? And they helped me. I said, okay, fine. And then I with their inputs, I changed, I accessed some Windows machine, I changed my browser, and then I accessed, it came. So something wrong with my setting in my system with the Chrome browser setup. Somewhere they are not, the browser and my system are not talking properly. That's why that was the bug that I was not able to create it. Otherwise, the content didn't have any kind of a bug. Later, after a few hours of exercise, and then I couldn't come to a conclusion. I was always fighting that no, there is something wrong with the content type. But then after a lot of testing and inputs from the developers of them itself, and then I came to know that there is some glitch here. But then what they said is, somebody could also face this. Somebody using a Mac might come up with this similar kind of a doubt. Then definitely we have to dig deep into it and see this. What is the issue? Otherwise, this is the issue that they have concluded. See, this is the kind of support we get with the open source tools most of the times. We have to check the moment we see an open source tool, how strong the community is. That is also very important. To that, Jobel, the company that which is developed this H5P is very strong forum they have. And the moment you say that this is how I have this, I need this, and this is the bug that I found, or this is the problem that I found while creating the content, not only the developers, but also the community around, we call it H5Pians, who are all using H5P, they will immediately react. Hey, I used this. I used it this way, that way. Okay, this is the example. Can you try this? That is the kind of support we get with this tool. But then why H5P? It's because it is not only free and open source. It gives us a lot of opportunity to customize and reuse, repurpose, especially when we talk about OER. The concept behind OER is repurposing, isn't it? Not to reinvent the wheel. Already there is a lot of content is there. We should not make internet as a dump yard. The same kind of content everybody keep developing. No, we have to repurpose it. When it is available with certain open license, we should take it and we should be able to repurpose, reuse it. That kind of opportunity gives this tool. We are going to see all that today, how we can repurpose. But then what are all we can create with H5P? What kind of content types that we can create? Oh, there are more than 40 varieties. You take it a text-based one or image-based ones or virtual tours. For example, you have Bhagyodaya campus. You took nice, with the help of a simple Android phone, you can take a... Nirmal Shreshtaji. Okay. So you can take with that Google Earth photographs, virtual 3D photographs, you can make a virtual tour of your campus. You can create with the clicks. Okay, this is the library, this is the main office, this is the head, and this is how this is. Even that is possible. As a language teacher, you can develop various activities like crosswords, find the word, or drag and drops. There are many. When we see these kind of various opportunity, various content types that we can create, right? The major thing that we talked about when we are talking about interactivity, why and what, we talked about feedback also. The communication, right, to the user. There are various tools here in these more than 40 tools that above 40, there are more than 40. Actually, yesterday only I was testing even jigsaw puzzle that is still in the testing mode. They are launching it pretty soon. It is all open. You can search for H5P jigsaw and you can see that Oliver is the man who's developing it. Okay, it's all open. So these are the kind of tools which I highlighted here, where you can provide feedback to your user, either it is an immediate feedback or after attempting the task. But there are certain content types where you cannot really give immediate feedback, correct or wrong. For example, there is a personality quiz, okay, or you have a questionnaire where the feedback here is different. In a personality quiz, what you can do is you can define certain personalities. Okay, for example, you are teaching a psychology and or education, and you want to define whether the student is a slow learner. You want them to identify themselves as a slow learner or a medium learner or a fast learner, and then you have a criteria, right? A various personality, you can define that and you can ask questions, and then based on answer they give, you can map it to the personality, and automatically depending upon the answers they give, you can define the personality. That is the personality quiz. So the feedback is different here, though we provide them, but it is different than others, like any other your summative or formative assessment styles. Similarly, there are some content types where we can provide, we can present content along with some task to the user. So when we talk about feedback, again, it is very, very important to understand that giving feedback, not only giving feedback is important, it is also important for us to see how well the student is acting upon it. It's not just how the quality of the feedback is important, but it's also how well they are reacting to it. How students analyze, discuss, and act upon that feedback is important as giving a quality feedback, constructive feedback. For example, I'll tell you here, in any learning management system, you are giving a multiple choice questions. What feedback we give, either it is correct or wrong. But then if you are really particular about giving a constructive feedback, you can think about providing feedback for each and every option that you specified in that multiple choice question. Okay, capital of Nepal is, you provide some 4 cities name from different countries. Okay, when they select one of the options is Delhi, then you can provide immediate feedback to the learner as it is the capital of India. So you are imparting some knowledge, right? Not just provide, it is a constructive one, just an example that I'm giving. So that way you should think that how quality, how feedback, that what kind of feedback that we are giving, how the user can react upon it also. Sometimes feedback can help us to motivate them or to drive them towards achieving their learning goals, to develop their capability to evaluate and regulate their own learning, as Nicole says. And also sometimes not only motivate them, to reward them. And sometimes we can guide them, we can inform them, okay, this is how you are doing, and this is how you're supposed to do. That is also possible. Okay, when we talk about these H5P content types, that I'm saying that not only we can provide a feedback, we can even present some content like we do in this PowerPoint presentation. We do these kind of presentations. In between, we can give some questions. And then we can also plan immediate feedback. Also, we can create a branching scenario also. It is more advanced. there is a kind of, there are around 5 of them where you can create present content along with some tasks. So looking at these kind of more than 40 varieties of content types, last year when I developed a open course on for a project, Slovenia Chair UNESCO Open Education for Better World, I developed a free course. Again, very pretty soon we will be launching that again. Even now you can access that course. I will give you the links also, but as a guest. You cannot participate and you cannot gain a certificate out of it, but pretty soon we will be launching it. I'll inform you. Creating interactive content in Moodle. Okay. So when I did that, I thought of an idea. Why not I present it as a periodic table? Actually, this idea is from Stuart Millar, who first thought of the periodic table version of content types. He randomly placed depending upon some other criteria. But then I thought that all these H5P content types should be segregated as only presentation tools or some kind of edutainment that we can provide are in one section, and then only tasks where we can design only tasks in one section, where we can present a task while presenting the content. Then in one section, you can see that in this orange one, light orange session, and there are some tools which are audio based ones. But then remember that when we create these kind of content types, we also should keep in our minds that accessibility is the issue. I hope you all, I don't know whether the session on accessibility is done or not. Sir, there is a message here. I didn't understand. In the chat, I'm looking at. Is there anyone looking at the chat?
There's nothing as such. I think the last one was, HP is a free open source content. I think that was forwarded by Kesav sir. And after that, we don't see
there is some breakout room or something. I don't know. I didn't ask. Breakout room. Yeah, there is some message here for me. I didn't understand. It's not also opening.
Well, in the chat box, I think the last one was sent by Kesav sir, and that's all that we see.
Oh, okay. There is one more here, sir. Anyway, so this is how I thought that we should segregate, and I also made it interactive using H5P itself. We can see all this content as interactive. The moment you click on this, you will see what is this arithmetic quiz, what is this column, what is this course presentation, we can see. But then when we talk about creating content, we also should think about how accessible they are. Meaning, when we create any content, we have to make sure that it should reach all learners. Whether they are using like as regular people with a regular screen and mouse and a keypad, or if there are any people who are using with a mouse stick or a screen reader, that should, I don't know whether there is a session on accessibility or not. It's again a huge topic. Accessibility means everybody should be able to access the content that you create. According to h5p.org, there are certain content types which are accessible, but not all of them. Okay, we have to choose and create, use them. Fine. But when you know your learners, pretty well, that who your learners are, then you want to tailor make some content, it's up to you. They all can, regular people, they can access, then you can create any type of a content. Okay, fine. So when you think about this H5P, create, share, and reuse, when we talk about it, how do we create, what it all needs, what is that environment that it needs, how do we create such wonderful 40 varieties of content types, that where to start, how to start. Whatever the platform that you take to develop this, it needs to display a web browser is required. A simple web browser is very much required. Or if you want, you should have a website with a H5P plugin support, like WordPress or a Drupal, where you should be able to install free H5P plugin. Again, H5P plugin for WordPress or a Drupal is a free one. When we talk about Moodle, that is the LMS or a Brightspace, Blackboard or a Canvas. These are all LMS, learning management systems, we call it. Okay, all these have their own plugins of H5P. In Moodle recently, they even integrated into the core also. They introduced a new concept called content bank, where you can create all H5P content and put it in the content bank. Or there is one more paid solution called H5P.com, which is as a SaaS solution, we call it, software as a service. Means, as I said, it needs an environment to place, right? So they created some environment where they placed H5P there. So when you pay some bucks, they give you account where you can create your content and you can share with your learners, or you can incorporate in your LMS. What is the advantage of it? When you have any LMS or a CMS, either a WordPress site or a Drupal or any LMS, when you have along with that to for the H5P is, the benefit is to track the attempts or to see the results clearly. That is possible. Okay, but then many people think that there are two sites. When you search for a H5P, you get h5p.org and also h5p.com. h5p.com is a SaaS solution. They provide on a paid basis. It's not a free one because they are giving you a hosting environment. Similarly, h5p.org is a community site where you can register and only you can create some content, and then it is publicly available. You cannot hide it. At the same time, you cannot use it for a real-time purpose. Anytime they can remove it. Also, initially, what they used to do is they used to provide us all 40 varieties of content types to try out. But in recent days, they are not providing all of them to try. Very few. Okay, many people think that free. It is open source. Why they are limiting that capacity is because when they started, there may not be too many users like this, but now there are many. And also they are coming up with a concept called H5P Hub, where you can release all your content there with the open license. And the moment you have any learning management system or a content management system, you can get that and then repurpose that, whatever is already available. That is a beautiful option, H5P Hub, we call it. Okay, fine. But then you don't have any website that supports your for your organization, or you don't have neither a learning management system. What should you do? What should we be doing? Is there any application? Can we develop offline? Can we distribute? Can we share that? How do we do that? Is there any application? Is there any application? The answer is definitely yes.
Yes.
The answer is definitely
Lumi.
Yes. Lumi, yes. So yesterday I shared a video with all of you that is talking about a software application, a small software application called Lumi. Okay, Lumi.education. This is a very simple application where you can download it and then create H5P content type, and then you can distribute it as a HTML file or a shareable content object reference model, we call it, SCORM package, where LMSs support for a reporting purposes. But then, is there any way that we can track our learner? Okay, fine. I create here. I send it as a HTML file to my user. But then, is there any way? There is a way, but they are still developing on that. As I said, again, Lumi is also a free and an open source tool. Recently, they have launched and they are still in a development phase, they are still coming up with a lot of ideas. And one more question they ask me is, most of the teachers are like, okay, fine, I created it and I want to send it through WhatsApp to my students, the HTML file. You can send it, but these days, recently, just few weeks back, I wrote a mail to them also, to Lumi people. Sebastian is the developer, and I wrote to them also, like, it is not opening in a mobile browser. Sometimes it is not opening, sometimes in Android it is opening. Okay, but then you can create, the beauty of this is you can create H5P content type offline in your machine, and then you can publish it as a HTML file, and then you can distribute it to your users, definitely. Or you can host it in your site because it is a HTML file, right? So, and how this Lumi interface looks like. How do we create content? Let me show you that. I hope all of you downloaded Lumi file yesterday, right? Before I really show, let me give you a small glimpse of it, how it looks like in an LMS. If at all you are using a learning management system, how you can see the attempts. Okay, I have a tutorial video also, small tutorial video. My videos are very small. I will send you that also. All this presentation also I'll be sharing, where you can see that the attempts tracking can be switched on for that course. And then you can see what is the maximum score and how much time they spent, what is the completion and what is the success. What is the difference between completion and success means whether they achieved the pass grade or the maximum score or not. That is the success. It is treated as completion is like they have completed till the end of that particular activity they have done or not. Yeah, I'm talking about Lumi, right? When you create a Lumi, definitely there is a way how we see the analytics also. Right now in this session, we will be doing a small exercise and we'll see that analytics also. Okay, I'll show you. And then we can reuse H5P content types. As I said, h5p.org got already many people who developed certain content types, and very soon H5P Hub will be launching, where we can see that there will be a small button. These are just screenshots, but I will show you live also, where there will be a small reuse button. But remember, we have to mind copyright. I think in the very first session, we learned about Creative Commons, right? Open licenses. H5P allows us to create content with open license, where we can add the data and metadata, and then we can use it. But while reusing anybody's material, how do you attribute? There is a attribution builder. It's called Open Washington University's attribution builder. Very nice one. If time permits, at the end of, before we conclude, I will show this attribution builder also. Simply you give the author name and the license type and whether it is reused or not, and automatically it generates that line for you. This work is licensed under so and so with the hyperlinks. So always remember, when you create, you better attribute the original author if it is not yours. Okay, there are many more examples. Start small. Don't think about right away you can create a branching scenario. No, always start small. Drink a glass of water, then think about the ocean. Okay, then first see that examples. As I said, we can download and you can observe the back end of it, how they created it. And you can always modify and repurpose it. And very soon H5P OER Hub is also coming up. And there are some templates and examples which are already created, and I will be showing that. But before you create, we have to think about how much time we have, in what lesson you are teaching, and what is the infrastructure, whether you have a LMS or a CMS. If not, how are you sending these interactivities to your user? What is the purpose of that interactivity actually? Whether it is to motivate a student or to create a formative assessment. Yeah, by the way, H5P, when you are not using in .com or in any LMS, or even there, it is always advisable to use for a formative assessment than a summative one. Okay, so what kind of a self-check that you are providing, and are you willing to provide a constructive feedback? Then what is the type of content that will support a feedback? And then do you want to give an option to redo? Do you want to provide a show solution or not? You don't want to show or you want to show? You have to decide all this beforehand and then go about it. Okay, so let us see some live examples, and then we will see the Lumi interface, how to create this H5P content types. I will demo to you. I'll be creating along with you in Lumi, and then we will try to see the analytics also, analytics part also. That's why I wanted all of you to join with a laptop. First, let me share some examples. Okay, let me go here. Okay. These are various templates that you can utilize. These are all open licensed ones. Okay. See, if you're as teachers, we are already putting a lot of efforts. And then for designing, we may not have a lot of time. How creatively we can create? You can simply reuse this. You use button and then download, and then you can edit it in your Lumi. Okay, these are some examples, templates for course presentation and interactive video. This is a multiplication memory game created for specially abled one. That's why it got a
30, 20.
It got a sound also. Okay.
4 times 20.
So this is for school children that was created, and you can always modify it. There are some templates and also some examples. These are in regional language. For example, you want to do it these are arranging images in a right order. Okay, so these are the right, like it will give you how much time you took. For example, when I say check, okay, this is the total moves and total time spent and how much is the correct. When I say resume again, I can restart. Okay, so here again, reuse option is there. This is again another type of course presentation. Okay, I wanted them to identify these 3 letters in this Varnamala. So I say yes, check, see. Okay, and these are some drag and drops of the what we call text. Okay, so you have to do it according to the Varnamala line. Okay, these are the various examples that we can create, simple examples I say, and these are like I wanted to identify some nouns in this paragraph. Okay, similarly in this I wanted them to identify with some pronouns, and then I wanted them to drag and drop these words. Okay, these are text-based ones I'm showing. I'll show you the image-based ones also. This is also same text-based one. Or when you go to h5p.org, the beauty of this tool is that tutorials and examples and downloads are very well given here, everywhere, right? For example, we see a drag and drop. This is h5p.org. You want to label it. If you want to show some labeling. So how do you want to create a labeling here? If this is correct or not, let us check. Yeah. This next and so this is a chess game developed by Avi Megiddo. Okay, so you can always see when you publish it in any LMS or a CMS, this H5P content type, you can even publish the copyright. See, rights of use. For example, when you go and see, this is CC by NC SA. So you have to attribute, again, share it non-commercially only, and then you have to attribute the author, and also this is a essay that is share alike one. Okay, this is the source that they have taken from Wikimedia, this checkerboard, blank checkerboard. Okay, So that's how you can see the copyright of each content type. You can go, and also there are some showcases available in H5P showcases. You can go and see, or you can see image sequencing, also image pairing, or what you can do is there is it's a first of its kind in India. It's also listed in Merlot open resources. That I have come up with this catalog called H5P catalog, that I wanted to whoever teachers are comfortable in creating H5P interactive content, they can come here, and then you can, it's a free one. You can go and search H5P catalog. You can see various content types that are created here, and you can explore them, or if you are willing, you can even register here and then start creating. And but remember, this is for repurposing. This is a catalog with your name and the license. It will be published. Okay, now we will see the Lumi, and then we will try to create some examples. You can always see these examples in H5P catalog, and you can also register yourself if you are comfortable in creating H5P content and share with the world with the open license. We recently collaborated with a college to come up with 100 interactive open educational resources for this Open Education Week in the March 1st week. Yeah, let me share my Lumi screen now. Okay, all of you downloaded Lumi or no?
Done, yes.
Yes, I have downloaded, ma'am.
Oh, great. Then let me share my screen. Yeah, this is the screen that you have, right? The moment you open that, this is the screen that you get. On the left, it is H5P editor. On the right, it is Lumi Analytics. First, we will see the H5P editor. Then we'll talk about Lumi Analytics, right? So now let us all open Lumi application. Click on. Yes, sir.
Dean of the Faculty of Education recently joined this webinar. I would like to heartily welcome Professor Dr. Chitrabadur Kesi to observe this particular webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
I'm also, by the way, MA education student of IGNO India.
Okay.
I'm pursuing because education technology is my favorite subject. So I could do education technology specialization. So I registered for a PG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. So now this is a H5P editor that we are trying to open. All of you just come along with me. Open your Lumi application. Okay. And then you will see this screen. Click on Start of the H5P editor. Can you click on that? Shall I click on that?
Okay.
Okay. So then you will see this screen with two buttons again. There is a open existing H5P or create a new H5P. So because we don't have any existing H5Ps right now, we'll try to create new one. And then also we will see how to open existing H5P and see. For example, you downloaded something from justwrite.in, or you downloaded something from H5P catalog, or you downloaded from h5p.org, and then how to open it and then how to customize it, we will see later. But right now our agenda is to create a new H5P. Let us click on create new H5P. This is the environment that you will see. Okay, because some content type list is outdated. That is the a remark that that pops up the message. It's okay. You can click cross. These are the various content types that you see here. Okay, see the updates available. It's saying. Let me introduce first this interface, how it looks like. Okay, and here the content types are either you can segregate it by popular first or newest first or A to Z in alphabetical order, you can see. And then on the left side, you have the menu, new or H5P or open H5P. Okay. This new H5P is the one that I opened just now. I'm trying to create. And this plus sign is that to create one more one. Okay. On top, you have menu bar with the file option. This is what very useful for us, either to save or save as or export or quit. Okay. What is the difference between save as and export? Save or save as means that it saves the entire package, that is .h5p file. It will save .h5p file, which can be reopened and then modified and then reworked on the project. Whereas when you say export, okay, you will be exporting it as a HTML file or a SCOM package where you cannot really customize it. Again, open and customize. You always better to save it as a .h5p file, then export it. Okay, there are two steps here, remember. Okay, coming here, let us first create a very simple, maybe marking the words. Okay, simple one first. Let us start small. Then we will go with the multiple choice question or a fill in the blank one. First, let us go with a simple one. Let us start a simple text-based one. Then we'll move on to a image-based also. So let me say drag the words. This is the one. Again, in this interface, you have each content type listed here in the editor. Remember, whatever the environment you are in, whether it is Lumi or you are in a WordPress or in a Drupal site or in a h5p.com or in any LMS. While creating, this is the environment that you have. The editor is the same everywhere. The editor interface is same everywhere. Only thing is, when you are in a LMS or a CMS, you have another option here next to create content, upload will be there. Or you have a OER hub option to get content from OER hub, H5P OER hub. Okay, fine. Those two buttons, it won't be there in the Lumi right now. They are not there. Okay, now we say mark the words, right? We are trying to see, mark the words. Each content type is listed here. There is a button next to it called details. For example, you see, I showed you that update availability saying for memory game. When you see such kind of a thing, when you click on details, you can always click on update. It will update. Okay. So right now we are not using it. So we are using mark the words. You click on details. Again, the beauty of this tool is every content type got its own tutorial from h5p.org, and also there is a demo given to it. And here in the editor, we have example screenshots given. You can always read about mark the words. Jobel is the company who developed H5P. Okay. Now I say use. This is the button. I chose mark the words. Now I say use. All of you are following me? Are you creating? Anybody creating along with me?
Trying with you. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So shall I continue? Shall I go ahead? Shall I continue?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Now I click on use.
Excuse me, ma'am. May I have one question, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Instead of button use, I have installed button. Shall I install that one? After I logged into Lumi and I searched for mark the words, and there was an option use in your interface, but in my interface there is a button install. Shall I install this mark the words?
Yes, sir. Install. See, what happens is, let me tell you. Okay, I got it. What you're saying. Install it, sir. I got it. What happens is, sometimes first time when you are using, so all the libraries may not present there. So you have to install that. For example, I think I use all of them every day. I keep testing. So Right now I have everything installed. So, and you get a install option. You please install, then you have this screen. Okay, then you click on this use button.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I get
When you are here, I will continue, sir. I'll wait. Yes, sir. Sometimes very few will be there because first time when you use, very few will be there. You can install more libraries, or there is an option to install libraries. I don't want to confuse because sometimes not everybody is a tech savvy. That's why. Here it is. There is a settings option here, and then H5P libraries. Sometimes updates. It will ask you to update when you click on that. Okay. Where sometimes it will ask you to update. You can always see that update, and then you can update your setting. That is from this settings option. You can always send them a crash report by clicking on this bug. Okay. So when you open mark the words, see any content type, when you say use, basically a few things are common. The description, title, and behavioral setting buttons, these are all will be common. Okay. So here we are talking about mark the words, and very important one here I want to talk is next to title, there will be a small button called metadata. This is where wherever you find this metadata, that is where you will be giving the author and the license information. Whether you add an image or a video, or even for the entire H5P content type, that you can specify here. You click on metadata, you give a title, for example, okay. And then license. Mine is always either pub CC0 or CC BY. Okay, license version. And then you give a author name and save the author. Sometimes you might have licensee and you have an editor option, and then you can write any additional information or a change log that you want to give, that what is the changes that you have done with the work already attempted, then you can give. Or you have taken any image, for example, it has some license and the license version and the source you are supposed to give here. Okay, so then I'll click on save my data. Next comes task description. What do you want your user to do? This is the mark the words. We have seen the example. We are marking those correct words, right? Correct words are marked. Choose, read the sentence. Okay. Or we can say simply mark the words associated. Why? Okay. You can do whichever you feel like your subject one. Okay. I'm doing very generic one. Mark the words associated . Okay. So you have to find, you need 5 words. Okay. I will give some 10 words and they have to find 5 words among them. There are 5 are the correct options. So these are the important instructions that you can read how to give our option to the user. Or if you don't want, you can simply hide. Show instructions is the button. When you click on that, you will see the instructions. And this is the answer. That's where I clicked and I'm writing my answer. So few words that I want to give here. So the moment we think about cricket, what are all the we get wickets, glove, racket, bats, batsman, and how many 5 words, right? Bales is the correct option. So I keep it inside my asterisk. Wickets is the correct option. I keep it inside asterisk. And pads, yes. 5 words we have to give. 1, 2, 3. And batsman, yes. 4. And we can give one more word as referee. It is not the correct option. And square quad drive is there. Okay. Driver we have given already. Bowler, did we give? No. So we will give bowler. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So these are the words. Okay. Correct words are marked with a asterisk. Okay. So now I'll go down. This is the score range, the feedback that you want to provide. 0 to 100% or 0 to 99, or like how you want to give. For example, I want to give as 90%. Good. Okay. Okay. And then comes behavioral settings. When it comes,
could you
yes,
repeat the steps once again, ma'am?
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From
So
the beginning?
yeah, I will do it. Mark the words is the content type that I have taken. And then while giving the content, there is a title that that we have to give.
Okay.
That because I am creating for a Bhagyodaya session, a sample mark the words. So that's what the title I have given. And next to title, there is a metadata. Small button is there. That's where we give a copyright option always.
CC by? No?
Yeah, because that's up to you. Like whether you are repurposing it or whether you're creating it's your own content, then you what license that you want to give, you can decide. I decided I want to give it with a CC by. So I have taken. I have given my author name. I saved author and I clicked on save metadata also. And then task description. You saw the example, right? User will be marking the correct words in a given sentence or a given paragraph. So I am giving here some words for them. I want to take it a simple one. Mark the words associated with the sport cricket. Okay, you need to find 5 words. There are 5 words that I'm supposed to give, correct words, and then rest of the words not associated with the...
May your sound mute, miss?
No, I am talking. Is everybody? Is okay?
Yes, you are right. You are right.
Yeah, we are getting.
Okay. Yeah. So there are words that I have given, and the right options are between asterisks. Okay. The correct options are between asterisks. Coming to overall feedback, you can divide like 0 to 99% means how much ever it is. I say try again. And it is 100%. I just say good job. This is just for a what we call for a sample purpose. I'm doing it here. And behavioral settings. This differs from content to content type. Depending upon the content type we take, the behavioral setting will differ. If you take a interactive video, that means where in between you can pose questions, right? Or some extra information that you want to give, then behavioral setting will differ. Or you want to take multiple choice questions, or you want to take drag and drops. The behavioral setting will differ depending upon the type of content that you take. Then comes behavioral setting here for the mark the words. Show solution. Do you want to show it or not? If I don't want to show it, I will uncheck. I'll show you both. Okay. Show score points or not. Enable retry or not. I want to enable retry. Now, the beauty of this Lumi tool is, and nowhere else of the H5P editor, you have immediately view option. If you are creating in a LMS or a CMS, you have to save it and then you have to view it. But in Lumi, immediately you can switch tabs and see the view and edit options. See, mark the words associated with the sport cricket. You need to find 5 words. 5, right? I think these are the 5 words I'm thinking. Let me see. Try again. See, I don't have a show solution button here. For example, I go back to edit. And when I say enable show solution, When I say view, I just click. So, see. But then it's always good idea. These are the two tabs, view and edit tabs, where you can view the output, and this is the edit where you can edit the output. You can save this as a H5P file, save as when you say, or a save, you have a .h5p file. It will save as .h5p file where you can reopen it. Okay. But then you don't have any LMS or a CMS. You want to share with your learners. How do you do that? You click on file, you click on export. There are three options here. All-in-one HTML, one HTML file with several media files, or a SCOM package. We will select all in one HTML file. Okay. And then don't forget to check this button, include reporter. That means a reporting option will be there for you to see, analyze the results. For example, when I say export now, it is going to the same location of my desktop. It will save as HTML file. Okay. So once it is there, what you are supposed to do is, let me share my entire screen and show you. Once it is there, see, this is the HTML file, right? Mark the words, Bhagyodaya session HTML file. You will be sending it to your learners. Okay. When you send this to your learners, they will open here and they will interact with it. Depending upon the type of content type you give. This is a simple one we have taken. There might be number of questions will be more, and then they do this, they attempt it, and they recheck it. If they want to retry, if you don't want to give a show solution, it's up to you. For any content type you can give, and the moment they think they are done, you have to guide them that you have to click on this download button on the right, and then give your name, for example, Sushumna, and a Lumi file will be downloaded. Let me refresh it. Maybe one more student does this, and I will download it as Rama. There is one more Lumi file that got downloaded. And what I'll do is, I'll keep these Lumi files in one folder. Okay, let me copy this and create a folder. And I want to paste these two Lumi files inside my Lumi B folder in my downloads. I'll go to my Lumi application. There is a Lumi analytics option, right? This is the analytics option. When I click on that, choose a folder with .lumi files, it's asking. So I will choose a folder where my students' Lumi files who sent to me are there. I'll open it. See, I didn't achieve anything, right? So it will show me the analytics. Now what I'll do is, I'll try to give you, I'll try to open which is already there in my thing. I'll give you a HTML file. We will see the analytics of it also. For example, we will see. We will open. This is an example of question set. We call it a quiz. Okay. Various question types that you can add. Multiple choice question, or drag the words, or matching, various types. First, we'll see, because we know mark the words and drag the words are the same. Okay. I will provide you a H5P file also. You can see that. First, let me export it as a all-in-one HTML file. Okay. And desktop. Let me share with you all. You try to attempt it once. Okay. I'm giving you one file. What you do is, this is just to show you the analytics part. Don't think otherwise. Just try to open it like I did. I opened it in the browser and I completed it, and then I download it with my name and then send it back to me in the chat itself. I don't know what behavioral settings. See, under behavioral settings, enable retry, enable show solution also I have given. Okay. And then for this, disable backward navigation. I didn't provide a backward navigation for this. If you see, there are some 4 questions. You cannot come back to the first question. You keep on attempting it. Okay. So just send me, just do it 1 or 2 files. Let us see the analytics part, and then we'll see drag and drop and then interactive video. And I hope, sir, I can take another 10 minutes because we started anyway late. Okay. And then we take a break and then we start the people practicing the Lumi, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. So just open that HTML file.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
The file that you shared, it's asking me to download, and can we do that?
Yes, sir. Please download. Yes,
well?
yes. Download locally and open in your browser, because this is the way that when you don't have any CMS or LMS to send to your 32-bit computer, Lumi cannot be installed if I'm not wrong, sir. Sitaram, sir.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Somebody sent me a message. Can it install in 32-bit computer?
Oh.
I'm answering that. Lumi is an application that runs with 64-bit, if I'm not wrong. That's what displays in Lumi.education also. Or if you want to practice, you can create a account in h5p.org, and then, but not all content types are available there. And that's also a real-time one. Okay. Lumi is for if you don't have any infrastructure to create content and to distribute as a HTML file. I want all of you to download that HTML file, answer the question, and click on the right side. There is a download button. Just give me back and send me back that .lumi file to me, and I will put it in my folder and I'll show you the analytics part. Just 4 questions are there. Like, let me also open it, I think. How many ever times you want to do, you can do. And so when you think that it is finished, you click on finish and then click on this download button, give your name and download .lumi file. As I said, it is very useful as a formative assessment, various content types that you can create and share with your learners when you don't have any infrastructure. If you have, that's altogether a different ballgame. Okay, Arpan Pradhan sir sent me pretty quick. Saroj ma'am or sir, I'm sorry, sent me. And let me add all of them into the Lumi folder. Akash sir, you have to just download and give that file to me. I think you opened it. Don't open that file. You cannot open that file and you cannot see it anything, .lumi file. I'll tell you, sir. Shambhu sir, how to add another question to H5P. I will give you, sir. Okay, I think I got enough of them. Let me see. I downloaded all of them and let me put all these files into one folder. Okay. Okay. Now I'm opening them in the Lumi. I hope you all can see my Lumi interface, right? Let me again open it. Mobile में नहीं होता है, sir. Somebody asked about mobile. Two more files I got. Okay. Okay. Here, sir, you can see the, I hope you all can see that analytics. I am the one with 0%. But this is still evolving, sir, evolving, developing tool, this analytics and all, you can always write to them. It's an open source and a free one. They are still developing it. As I said, sometimes in Chrome browser, this HTML file in Android, it is opening. Sometimes it is not opening. It is now, right now, this HTML export is working nicely in the laptops. Okay, this is one way of, if you don't have any infrastructure, doing it. Thank you, sir. Somebody asked me about installing in 32-bit computer. Pradeep, sir. Lumi, you mean to say, right? I don't think. How to send the folder? Okay. What folder, sir? May I know? What folder you're asking, sir? I didn't get. I didn't. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is about analytics part, sir, in Lumi, when you are using Lumi.
Okay.
Yeah, but then when you use an LMS, that is a different one. As I showed you, I can show you the real time also after the break, maybe in a real course, when it is an interactive video is used, how attempts are tracked inside a Moodle LMS. Okay, even in a WordPress, you can switch on, but then you should have that kind of a resources to accept, to store the data, the learning data and all. Okay. Anyway, now we will see one more type of a drag and drop we can try, or multiple choice we can try. See, when somebody asked me how to add various questions in one quiz, right? So one way of doing it is using a quiz, that is question set. I just sent you various types of questions that we can use. Or if you have a single choice set, for example, what we call in a general term, multiple choice questions. Only one choice is correct. Then you can have a single choice set. Yeah, this is the one that you can use. When you use a multiple choice one, it is possible only to add one question at a time. But then what is the use of this, you can ask me. As I said, there are 5 content types where you can utilize them while presenting the content. For example, like a presentation that you want to present, inside that a video is there next to it, you want to present a multiple choice question, then you can drag and drop it, a multiple choice question there. For every frame, you can keep on giving the questions. Creativity, the sky is the limit. Of course, there are some limitations with H5P. The first thing that people will ask me is, will I be able to import my PowerPoint presentations into H5P? That is not yet possible. You have to create, once you create the template, you create every frame there. But then inside a H5P, there is a way that copy paste things can happen. Okay, now we will see a simple drag and drop, and then we will see interactive video, because that is the most famous that people will ask most of the times. See, again, when you open a drag and drop, this is the title and metadata. You are well versed about it. Coming down the editing area, we have 2 tabs here. Coming down here, we have step 1 is settings. Step 2 is task. First, let us do with a simple one. Step 2, I'm going. The step 1, I didn't do anything. The settings I didn't do. I didn't change the task size. Neither I have a background image. Where it is useful, I will tell you. Where step 1 can be utilized, I'll show you an example. This is the task page where you have 3 buttons here. This is a drop zone. This is a text option. This is the image. For example, we will do that. Okay, national emblems of Nepal will take. Monal, I think the bird Monal, right? We will give a placeholder for Monal, and then we will give a name text there. It is the national bird and the national emblem. And then we will give a placeholder, and then we'll give images so that people can drag and drop it onto the holder. Okay, so that is the exercise that we will do. First, let me add some text, that is national emblem. Okay, now I say done. I will adjust this text. Okay, now I want to copy this, and another text box I want. I can simply copy and use this paste, and I have it here, maybe. Okay, but I want to change, double click it. Either you double click it, or when you click on that, you have an edit option here, copy and bring to front, send to back, and delete option. You can click on this edit option or double click it. This is the national bird of Nepal, that we say. Okay. Okay, these are the 2. And then I need a placeholder. So drop zones that I want. So this is the bird, or we simply say B. Okay. And I say done. I can adjust the size of this drop zone. I want to keep it here. Okay. And it's better. I give it. Okay. Okay, simply I can even copy paste it also, but remember you have to change the name of it. Copy and then paste. And this is the national bird. This is the emblem, and this is the, oh, this is the bird, so it should be B, and this is emblem, this is E. Okay, fine. Now we want a draggable images. Where do we find images? We know how to find national Nepal. We all know how to find CC material, that is go to advanced search and then select Creative Commons license. And I say advanced search. This is Commons Wikimedia image I got. I visit here and I see that the license here, it is share remix, but share alike, right? I have to release it with the same share alike. Who is the author? We have to see who presented it. Okay. If you want to use this in any file, then when you click on that, this is the Sumita Roy Datta with CC by SA 4.0. Okay. And this is the source page, remember. And then first let me download what size you want to download. A smaller size I want. Oh, it's so small, 32 pixel. So full resolution, this is one. And I save image as, okay, download. And national emblem also we will take. First, let us go to the Lumi application. Here we will add an image. I clicked on image and here metadata, we have to give the name of it and license CC by SA, if I am not wrong. CC by SA 4.0 and Sumita Roy Datta is the author, right? I have to give her name. Sorry. Okay, save. And CC by SA 4.0 and the source. What is the source? This is the page URL. I'm taking the page URL and I'm giving the source. Okay. And I say save metadata. And now I say add an image and Monal. Okay. So alternative text. It's always good to give alternative text for the accessibility purpose. Okay. Okay. Now I say select drop zones. There are two drop zones here, E and B. I want to select all of them because user can drop it anywhere, right? We don't want to tell which is correct, which is wrong. Okay. So I say done. And this is the image. Okay. And now I want to have a national emblem also. This is a simple example I'm telling. You can do with okay. Again, I got from Wikipedia and let's see. Mostly it is a share alike one. Yeah. It's a public domain one. Wonderful. But then who is the author? Okay. It's always good idea to take it with the author name. Let us save it, or simply you can see, you can attribute by Sagredo. Okay, this is the name we'll take and we'll download original file. Okay, and I come here, I add another image. I hope I copied. Yes, author. It is public domain.
Public domain down.
Yeah, public domain. And it is a national emblem of. Okay. Now I will add the image. Uh-oh, where is that? Okay, alternative text. Okay, all the drop zones I selected. Okay, fine. So I will adjust the size. I mean, aesthetics, I'm so sorry. I'm just doing the functionality of it. Now, when you select these drop zones, double click it and you see, select the correct elements. E is for emblem, right? So I wanted the correct option is emblem. And you should say this drop zone can only contain one element. If you don't tick this, how number of elements can be dropped on that. User unnecessarily get confused. But again, it's up to the teacher what he or she wants to do. Enable auto align. It will auto align. Okay. So now for this, it is the bird, right? So same thing. One minus, and then a drop zone highlighting. I usually don't prefer this because otherwise user will get to know where it is. Okay, and then auto align, enable full screen, show score points, and show title. Fine. So now we can also say view this. See, this is the a draggable like drop zone, right? It is always because the opacity that we have selected as 100. So if it is a 0, you can't see anything. This is very useful when you want to do, for example, you are doing a parts of the body, a science you are doing, you don't want to highlight anything anywhere. Then you can choose a drop zone there element as a 0 opacity. Then you won't see this. Okay, or highlighting. Now it won't highlight, right? Unless I come here. For example, let us see if what is the idea behind having a task 1. Let me show you that. Here, if you observe settings, we didn't do anything. We didn't add any background image. In the task, we did everything, right? When you see this, for example, first let us view this. See, parts of some machinery, like we have to arrange it and then check. But then what is the difference? This is what I told you. When you download certain things from h5p.org, you can see the back end of it, how it looks like. What they did here is they added a background image. We added a background image. You prepare this image. This is what I told you about before you start. Remember the time you have not only to prepare the interactivity, the elements associated with it, and also time to test the content that you develop. It all matters. So they developed this in some simple PowerPoint. They saved it as a JPEG or a PNG. And the task, coming to task, this is the background image that they got. And these are the draggable. What they did, first added drop zones everywhere. And then they created text. And then for this text, these are the drop zones. They selected all of them. But then for this, the correct option, they have selected here. So now you got, right, how to use the step 1 as a background image, and step 2 to use to create a task to drag and drop into the drop zones. Either you can create directly in the task, or if you have a background image, like any science or a chemistry experiment, there is one more one, very interesting one on chemistry. I don't know whether I downloaded it or not. It's like some beaker experiment they want to show you. They want a user to label it. Okay. So when you see these simple small ones, for example, you have, as I said, you have to start small. Do multiple choice or a question set. Simple mark the words, or mark the words and drag the words. Both of them almost similar. While creating, your answer should be between your asterisks. Okay, so you start small. Slowly you move on to interactive video or a course presentation. I hope all of you could find, I see few of them could not find OER. I don't know the reason why. If you find a OER, that is a video that you want to have a question in between, how do we create? For example, I want to create an interactive video, and then you have a video that is with a CC license. The beauty of this tool again is sometimes even in course presentation or interactive video, it will give you a tour. What are all these buttons talks about? if for the first time, you better always watch this, clicking on next. And again, in between, when you have a doubt, there is a tour button here. And there is an example and there is a tutorial option. You can always visit and see the tutorial and the example, and then you can download and see the backend. You know the metadata option, you know the title. I'm just giving an example, interactive video. And there are 3 steps here. The first 2 steps are very important. You can add a video. Either you can add it from Vimeo Pro or a YouTube. That's a better idea, or Panopto. Never ever try to upload a video and create an interactive video here, because that will increase the file size. Always video should be in a streaming platform. Either again, in YouTube, not all of them are really OER. Okay, we have to make sure that, because he won't mention other than Creative Commons, just one license, they say Creative Commons, nothing else. Unless many of the times the user specifies that license tag on the video itself, then it is definitely an open source one, open license one. Okay, so or in Vimeo Pro, you have a very good option to choose various licenses. Okay, never ever try to upload a video. You have an option to upload a video here, but never. And enter a video URL. We'll take one simple URL, and then okay, you know how to choose any video, right? For example, I'm searching for Lumi, and I go to filters and I apply Creative Commons. Then you can find. See, for example, Oliver did a live on Twitch about Lumi. Okay, so all his videos will come. Or some other people, he is the one developer behind the brains behind various content types, Oliver. Or when you, because mine are all in unlisted ones, you won't see all of them. So when you click on this share button, you have a URL, copy that, get onto your Lumi, insert it, and edit copyright. This is the button for video. You click on edit copyright, give a title, author, source, license. How to see the license of any video in a YouTube? You can click on show more and see that. Okay, so you can give that license information. Apart from this metadata, next to title metadata is for the entire H5P, and this is for the YouTube. For example, you have taken a video which is share alike, then you have to share this entire H5P as a share alike, mind that. And then coming to next step, that is interactions. This is the video. Again, there is a tour here. I'm closing it. These are the various interactions that you can add. You can add a multiple choice question. You can add a single choice set, or you can add a true or false, or you can have a drag and drop. You have marked the words or drag the words, and various few other little advanced ones, that is crossroads. Okay, which is very, very interesting. But then I don't want to confuse all of you in the very first session. You better explore first basic things. When you look at when we look at this interface, this is the play button, this is the seek bar, and this is a bookmark option. For example, in your video, there are 3 sections. You want to provide bookmarks to your user, and then user can choose that bookmark and go there. A level of interaction, moderate, isn't it? So you can seek this button here, and then you can give a click on this bookmark and you can add a bookmark. Click on plus sign, you can add a bookmark. If you want to add any interaction in between, you can choose where you want to add interaction, and then you can click on the type of interaction that you want to add. For example, here I want to add a true or false question. Then this is what it displays in interactive video. Display time. I want to pause the video. You want to display as a button or as a poster. Then I say true or false question. If you want to add a media to it, either image or a video to that question, you can add. You can give a question here. Lumi is an open source application. True or false? It is true, right? Behavioral setting, obviously, I don't want a retry button. Enable show solution. I want to show. Okay. Feedback on correct answer, feedback on wrong answer, you can provide. The most important aspect is here, adaptivity. When you create an interactive video, the adaptivity part is like when user answers all correct, that's fine, he can move forward. But when he answers wrong, then I want him to go back to the beginning and watch entire thing and come back. And then I'll click require full score. I say done. And this is how your interaction appears. You have to adjust it on the slide. Okay. Now we will see view. See, I can see it here. This is the button I got. And I say false. I say it is a false. Continue. It is going back all the way beginning. For example, you don't want your user to move the seek bar. Then what you can do is you can prevent skipping forward in video. You can check this part. But then it is very, very annoying. It is also not very accessible, I say. So please don't do that. Okay. You can select loop the video, or you can enter a time code where exactly you want the video to start also. These are the behavioral setting for the entire video. Remember, for this is the another activity that we added to the interactive, the video. So for this, the behavioral settings are different, right? Again, for this entire video, the behavioral settings are different here in the editor. Don't get confused. Slow and steady wins the race. Slowly, you keep developing the content with simple mark the words, drag and drops, or observe the examples, and then definitely you will be able to create. This is about creating H5P content types demo. If you require, I can help you out to create various content types. You can always register in H5P catalog also. To repurpose OER, I can also show you where you can find H5P OER, not only in H5P OER hub. There are various places after just maybe a 10 minutes break. What say, sir?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let's have a 10 minutes break, then continue our session. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. So what time we will join back? It is
30. Right now, 12:20, 12:30.
It is, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
time.
sorry. I'm thinking of my time here. I'm sorry.
Buddha sir, it is logged. Huh? Zoom meeting is logged. That means if we leave, then we cannot join it again. Just before it was saying that it is locked. Okay. If we leave, then we cannot join after 10 minutes, or it is open now.
It is, it is open, sir.
Okay, sir. Just before I have got one notice here, Zoom is locked.
No, sir.
Notice is given here, so that I'm asking.
It will open.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, attendance को link राखेको छैन होला सर आज.
अब 10 मिनट पछि राखौँला नि त.
I will answer all the questions, sir. I think I can see some questions in the chat, maybe in the after the break.
Okay.